The Central Club.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. This episode is brought to you by Re-Inspire Printing and Weekend Defender. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. Today, we have a very special guest, and it's probably one of the first guests we have got on the Central Club after one of the vlogs we have recently been doing. The vlogs, as you know, a lot of people have really been enjoying them. I know I have, going to different places all around Wales and showcasing the beautiful, the wild, the wonderful, however you want to put it. And the reason we've got him in the studio, which took a lot to be fair, is because speaking to him, I could see a lot of myself in his story. He's older than me, so he's lived a lot more than me, but I could relate a lot to, and I thought that anyone coming through addiction is well worth to tell their story to help others. And I really think you will enjoy this one, and I think you'll take a lot out of this. I warmly welcome Mr. Ceri Holder.
Hiya, how do you do?
What's happening?
What's happening? You good?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Nice to see you on the outside now.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. You're doing well. It's lovely. Nice
No, thank you, mate. Thank you.
Good.
It's just to set the record for people, if you haven't watched our vlogs, Ceri, we bumped into up on the Fernhill estate. I actually know Ceri. I've known him for years and years and years, through the prison system and stuff. Obviously, we're not proud of that, but it's almost a proud feeling now looking back, because of where we are now.
Proud to look back at it, innit? It's not the time, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like, being here now, we can kind of look back at those things in a different light as if we were still in it,
Definitely.
Obviously we've known each other for quite some time. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so it was a nice surprise to bump into you. But also, like, for you to come to the studio, I know it takes a lot, because due to the drugs and that and the life you've lived,
You told me, I've been clean 14 years now, but still, my mental health is still short a bit through, to be honest with you. But I'm all right. I know, as long as I'm in my own space, I'm around my own people, I'm all right.
And of course,
my wife is, I'd be lost without my wife. She's life's good, really. It's just I've learned to live with it, if that makes sense. I know what I can be around, know what I can do, and I don't try and push my boundaries no more. Do you know what I mean? I got a little caravan up in Fernhill, my little getaway. We shoot off to whenever we can, and if I can help anyone, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I was the worst. I was a prolific offender. I was in jail in and out 14 years. I used everything, but my little boy was born, and it just changed my life. It changed my life. I met my wife, and I haven't looked back, and some bad days, but it's good now. We can look back and laugh about it though, and when I speak to other people, I can see they take it in, so it feels like I'm helping people a bit. And that means a lot to me. It goes a long way.
And I think when people are still in that addiction, I don't really think it's fair to be able to do a podcast, because number one, they're still going through it, but number two,
they don't hear you.
A lot of them, but a lot of what we like when we're on drugs, we deny everything.
You don't hear nothing, do you? You don't want to go in here and out there.
Yeah. And like the fact that you're out of that now, you can speak about some of the things you've gone through, knowing that you can help other people.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah.
From going around some other parts of the valley since doing the Fernhill, when a lot of people have mentioned your name,
nice.
They're proud to see you doing well. They knew of you in your past life, so I think it'd be really good to for the people to listen and show how far you've come, mate.
Thank you very much. Means a lot.
If you want to go back, tell the people where you're from and what was your upbringing like.
Right. I'm from Mountain Ash. I grew up in Abercynon. Really, I grew up in boarding schools. I was a very naughty kid in school. I was chucked out when I was 9. 10 or 11, and I went to a boarding school up in England. So I was only let home every other weekend, and that's when it all started then. They used to send me home on a train every fortnight from Bath. And I started running then, so I just kept running away. So I'd done like 2 years in the boarding schools, moved over then to secure unit, secure accommodation. I'd done like 25 months altogether there. In and out. That's when the drugs got hold of me, stealing cars flat out, and addiction took over then. And from 15 I went to jail, and I didn't stop till I met my wife, like for 32, 33.
Wow.
But it was mostly amphetamine and Valium, but it was when the darker drugs, they kicked in jail, to be honest. You didn't see the heavier drugs till I went to jail.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy, yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, the when the MDT came in, that type of stuff. That's when they say
That's exactly when it changed.
people
I
who would
remember it.
never normally take heroin.
Yeah. All of a sudden, people who didn't want to fail piss tests were smoking a bit of weed, and it took 28 days to get out of your system. So all of a sudden, then they ran a little smoke, and they don't realise. And when you get out, you don't realise you need it. You're bad. It's just crazy. But that's what done it. The MDTs, in my opinion, definitely $1,000,000%.
Mad, isn't it?
It turned the jail on their heads, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely
did,
did. Like, and you got it again now with Spice. You know, that's the next one now, isn't it?
I've been speaking to a couple of my friends. Unbelievable what's going on in Park. They've been telling me it's just people dying every day, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, we're going to talk about the prisons because I think that's a big, valuable part of this story as well because they're a crisis at the moment.
Yeah.
They are at breaking point. But just to go back then, so slow it down a little bit, the boarding school situation, how come you was in boarding schools in the first place?
I was very, very naughty. Do you know what turned my life on my head? And not a lot of people know this. I went to bed till late. Till I went to bed till I was about 11, 12. And it fucked my life up, to be honest. Because I'm in tears now. I wouldn't go sleep. I didn't want to go sleep. So from about 10, I was getting arrested all the time with shoplifting and all that. I started taking speed, look. And my older brother then, I'd be running around, go with them lot. I didn't want to go sleep, didn't want to go to bed. And it turned my life upside down, to be honest with you. But so by the time I was 10, I was so naughty. No school would have me in the valleys. And my mother still says it's her biggest mistake she made to this day. She's agreed for me to go to boarding school, look. So I went to a place called Whalley Manor in Bath. And it was crazy. It was like a castle. And it was, I was the second time I ever seen a black person. There was no black kids in our schools. And it was all right in the beginning. And then they showed me how to get home, didn't they, on the train. So that was it. And I run away. Then I turned 11, 12. I won't name names. Two of my friends were on a run from Portland prison. I was only 12. They took me out, taught me to drive, didn't they? Taught me to drive. And so social services then made the big mistake. They put me on a course down in Newport. Learned how to bang and drive, the bang race, how to strip cars, how to start with just the wires. Well, I just started stealing cars and then I flat out. Couldn't stop. I was probably at one point more addicted to cars than drugs, to be honest. I was addicted to the chase, addicted to just the joyriding. And that's all it was in the valleys back in them days. You'd walk up the street, there'd be 3-4 pinch cars in the streets. It was crazy. I'm 45 now, and a lot have changed, and for the good, to be honest. But cars as well, and bedwetting was a big thing in my life.
Wow. So you took amphetamine to prevent you going to sleep so you wouldn't wet the bed?
Well, yeah, and there was no such thing as ADHD back then. See, I was just a naughty kid, look. You know, I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD till I was 34, 35, and I was just a naughty kid and just chucked them away. To the point, at one point, I was the longest person in a secure unit under Section 25. I spent 25 months without even having a sentence. They just didn't know what to do with me, didn't know where to put me. They just kept me there. As soon as I turned 15, and they just chucked me out. So I go to jail, and you know. But secure units were hard. Boarding school was okay. It was a lot of bullying, but it was all right. Like
what, between other kids?
Yeah, other kids. Yeah, mostly. Yeah, the staff were like all right, but secure units it was when as soon as I went to a secure unit, it was like different. It was like prison. It was just like jail. I landed up in Kingswood secure unit in Bristol. It bars in the windows. It was like jail, mate. It was no different. And that's when I started getting bullied bad as well. And you know, I was a skinny little white kid from the valleys, covered in tattoos. And yeah, they just didn't like me. People didn't like me. And I started getting bullied terrible. So I started running from here then, much as I could, just stealing cars, taking drugs, all sorts. It started really bad. It was. I was prescribed diazepam by the time I was 13 in Silverbrook Children's Home. That took over my life then.
You was addicted to diazepam at 13?
Yeah, they prescribed me when I was 12 or 13 in Silverbrook.
As that is, back then, like you said, ADHD, dyslexia, you know, those things weren't
I wasn't diagnosed with nothing. No, they prescribed me because I was using amphetamine. And so they prescribed me diazepam. I can remember his name, Dr. Clee. And they took over my life.
Like a cancer patient, she said.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was really bad. I look back at photos and I was like, wow. To one memory I got back, right? They couldn't keep me in secure unit anymore, right? So I had to go to Merthyr Court, right? So they kept me in Beechcraft, it's called a secure unit in Silverbrook. And it's just where they keep kids overnight, 2 or 3 nights before they go to England or wherever to secure unit. So they took me to Merthyr Court. They come in the morning to give me my medication. She passed me the bottle. Well, I took the bottle. I had the fucking bottle. I took them all. I was only, say, 13. My mother be shivering now. She'll remember this.
You were one of the kids that put the policies in for take-homes and take-out meds.
Well, yeah, I was 13. They took me to Merthyr Crown Court. I won. They denied the order, so I had to go back for one night, and I could go home. Did I? Outside the courts, run away. 45 minutes, I had 16 charges. I rammed the police car. I pinched 2 cars from a car park. I was just out there. I was just taking Valium. I think it was something special. They take over my life. They'd make me horrible. They turned me into like an horrible bully. I think everything was mine. I was entitled to it. I'd be just taking people's cars, thinking I had every right to. And you don't realise until I'd come out in jail 2 or 3 days, and I would go, what am I in for? What the fuck? I didn't know what you're in for. Do you know what I mean? And well, you know what it's like on the wings.
Say that again. Sorry, go on.
I've more than once. I've come around 2 or 3 days, and I'm banging on a door, pressing a bell. Gav, got the screw, governor. What am I in for, Gav? And they think I'm joking. And like, what the fuck? Of course you know what you're in for. And one point, I'd been remanded for trying a car door, interfering with motor vehicles. But I don't even remember being interviewed. I don't. How they could get away with it is bizarre to me. But yeah, but that's what it used to be like. And I come around in jail then, and then I want to be a new boy, good boy, and again. But
yeah, when it's too late,
you got it. As you do, innit?
But you know those times, was it always like, you know, I want to sort my life out this time. But when you come towards the end of you know, a couple of days before you get out, would it always be like, oh, just one more?
1,000,000%. On the YOs was different. I know that was going to happen. The YOs were wild. That was a young offenders. That was a different ballgame altogether. It was crazy. To the point, I couldn't wait to get back to jail. All my good friends were in jail. You know, I grew up in Portland. I learned to read, write, swim, canoe. I learned everything up here. And not that I only got it anyway, but anyhow, I still can't even write very good. But I used to get out, and then I'd crave my friends. My real friends were doing longer times up here. Well, I was a petty criminal. I'd only be doing like a couple of months. And they'd be my real friends. I'd be writing to them, and I'd be like, sometimes I couldn't wait to get back. Sad, isn't it? When I think back now, but I was institutionalised, you know? And yeah, it was like after years and years, and it was like, something stupid, could be something stupid. I'd just say, on the Rizzlers. I'd be like, fucking hell, I wouldn't go without Rizzlers in jail. And something like that would play on my mind, and I'd be like, I'm better off in jail now. And yeah, I'd get off it, and yeah, be back on it then, back to jail.
What was Portland like back then? Because it was quite a notorious place.
Fucking crazy. It was military, basically. Every morning, 8 o'clock, you lined up on parade. They check if you shaved, hands at your side, the lines are free. Everywhere you go, you march. The block, if you went on the block, you have to run it up and down blue lines, and the only time you'd have to walk was carrying mortar. Every morning, you'd make a bed pack with all your socks rolled up. It was like army, bro. And then it changed then, it did. In the end, the staff loved me up here. The last time I was up here was 2000. I just turned 20, but I'd been up here every year since I was 15. And they gave me the red band job, and I got on great with them all. Yeah, it was sound. But because I'd grown up, you see, they knew me. But yeah, it made me institutionalised a lot. It did.
Does a regime like that, do you think that works in a prison system?
100 times better than this one does. 1,000,000%. A lot of people didn't want to go back to that. I tell you what now. It was even the block. Even I was bit of a boy by then. You know, I could have a fight. You know, I could hold my own. I wouldn't get bullied no more. No chance. And I was scared of the block still up here. And it was a scary place. You know, they rip you. You have to wear a shirt every weekend. You go to the block door, they rip your shirt off. It was crazy. No matter how big it was up here, it was. But yeah, they worked much better. You had to go education. You had no choice. You had to go to the gym. You had no choice. It's like now, you know what's the school now. You go in, you lie, do your cell. You don't go to the cell.
No, I'll put you on basic.
Yeah, sound. Give me a break.
Warning.
Yeah. But then back then, you didn't have kettles, you didn't have tellies, you didn't have electric. I mean, you'd have to wire the fucking radio up then with a PP9.
Yeah.
But yeah, jail's a joke now, bro. Innit? It's not rehabilitating no one. If they're just pushing people's problem aside. And that problem gets bigger because some people are going to jail and they haven't got much of an habit or they haven't got much of a drug problem. But then they get in there and they get introduced to bigger shit, you know? By the time they come home, man, they're on a big boy stuff. And it's...
And is that how you got on?
1,000,000%. I never even seen heroin and that on the out. No, I wouldn't go near shit like that. In jail, exactly same thing with MDTs. Fed up with losing days, fed up with doing my full sentence. Because I used to, if I had 6 months, I'd do the full 6 months. I would never get out 3 months because of MDTs mostly. But yeah, the same sort of thing. All my friends started smoking it. And I was like, fucking hell, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And eventually then, I started smoking it in there and then I'd be getting out and I'd be like, fucking hell. I needed but I didn't even realise that. Do you know, I honestly didn't know that I had an habit. I'd go out to be hard and genuine. You think you're rock, think you're solid, you think you're rock, think you're rocky, I think nothing could touch me. But yeah, in the end then I was getting out and yeah, I had to get out and I was on a subby script and I was like, fucking, what's happening to me? But yeah, it was just made it worse.
And I suppose back then as well though, like
they didn't give a
all
fuck
types
back
of
then,
people would try because a lot of people were using the heroin because of the MDT. I bet you got all types of people trying heroin back then.
1,000,000%.
Boys you were well respected,
Yeah.
So you think it's alright because my man's doing
it.
it.
Yeah, you got it. It's exactly what happened to me. I hated the shit, bro. And then I seen the good boys doing it and all the top boys, and I was like, oh, right. You know,
they're doing it,
I might as well have a bit. You know, when it's not hurting them, and that's how it leads, isn't it? But now they just chuck people in there, and they think they just pushing the problem aside. They ain't getting rid of no problem. They ain't helping no one. It's lucky you can get on classes in jail now. It's lucky you can get a landing job. Do you know what I mean? It's so full, and even now, and I haven't been to jail now. What 13 and a half years, 14 years coming up. I'm in a jail. And it was all full before I stopped now. And I'm hearing what's happening now. And it's like, wow, if it was worse than it was before, they were already chucking 3 men in one-man cells and 2 men in one-man cells. So God help it, like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It is. It's based on.
They didn't have enough staff to help you then. So how are they going to help people now?
Yeah. And like, I got a whole thing I want to talk to you on that. I want to go back to the joyriding days and all that.
Yeah.
So was that like your kind of was it a pattern of behaviour for your offending? Was it always that type of stuff, or did you have you got any other charges?
Oh yeah, it started off with shoplifting, but time I hit 10, it was burglaries with the boys, and yeah, I've been arrested like 280 times. I got 170 convictions. I've been convicted 170 times. But and I'm not proud of that by far. But I'm not ashamed of it anymore either.
Yeah, you're speaking from past.
I used to be ashamed of it, and I used to be put my head down, as I say. But now it made me who I am, and I can't change my past. So I just embrace it now, and yeah, it made me the person I am. So I ain't ashamed no more, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the people I done it to, and that's all I can say. And I've gone up to people genuine. I go Skittles on a Tuesday now and then, and I go and apologise to people who I know in the past I took a car, and it's not good, you know.
Yeah.
But one more.
Yeah, well, you're from the valleys, aren't you? So, like, you know, tell us a bit about the area you're from and what it's like to grow up there for people who are watching from all over the world who don't know.
I grew up in a little council estate, Bryn in Abercynon. I don't think you've been up there yet. It's only little. No. It's quiet now, but it was wild. It was wild. Yeah, there's only 200 houses, but growing up was different to today. There was no internet. There was no. You know, we'd go out and we'd play trappers, or we'd go out and go up a mountain and build swings. And the good times, before the cars kicked in, yeah, it was great. We just lived in the mountains back in the day in the valleys, and we'd build swings, and we'd be swimming in the rivers, building bridges, building diving boards. But yeah, then cars, I don't know where they come from, to be honest. And one day, somebody come in a pinch car, and boom, it just changed. The whole valleys changed. It was like everyone was stealing cars. It was like, fucking hell. And it was addictive, and it was the chase of the police. And to the point, we used to go out looking for police to be chased. Pathetic, I know. But it was like a drug, you know, it was... And it was not only that, even if you didn't steal cars, you'd walk around the estate and there'd be 2 or 3, 4 damn cars anyway. You could just jump in and take whatever you want to, you know, and that's how we used to be years ago. They were everywhere. I used to have a car everywhere. Terrible.
It's mad.
I did get chased in one valley, and I'd have another car already waiting in another valley. Just boom.
Yeah.
But it weren't just me then. It was accepted back then. It was like everyone was installing cars. It was, yeah. And
Yeah. And like you said, because you live in a place like that, everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
Growing up years later, sorting your life out, it must be quite...
It makes me feel good now when people see me and say, "Oh, you're looking well, you've done well, fair play. You know, you was a cunt, you was the worst." And that's what they used to call me, Ceri Cunt. That was my nickname as a kid, and that's what they called me, all the older fellas. Because I was a little cunt, and I was ruthless. I would just, if it was to do with vehicles, cars, or money, I'd be over it. But I'm motorbikes as well. But
when you got addicted to heroin in jail and you came out, and then that was your thing.
I was still in denial. I still denied it. I didn't want to admit it. And I got out and I was shivering, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Nah, that's not me. That's not me." So I was having a sneaky bit. I was running people down for doing it and doing it behind their back.
Yeah.
That's what was happening.
Wow.
But then I was all right because I still was like, I was still in denial. But then we'll go into it in a minute. My sister passed away, look. And I got my wife first, and yeah, anyway. Yeah, she passed away. She died of natural causes. She had bipolar, and that's when it hit me hard. I started smoking hard. I started selling a bit of it, so I went paying for it. And then, yeah, all of a sudden it had me by the bollocks, and I went to the bedroom for weeks at the end. It was like, yeah, that's when it gripped me hard. I was about 35, but for years I just fucked about and dabbled. But that was when I first really had, like, yeah, when it had hold of me, and then it was like, yeah, it helped for a little bit, I won't lie, it did. Then it made it worse.
I was going to say,
it all worse in the end. In the beginning, it was great because it numbed it all out, and it was everything just blanked away. But I was just hiding from the bigger picture all along. And all of a sudden, it went from everyone not trusting me and nothing to everybody. All of a sudden, my whole family all leaning on me. Everyone leaned on me. It was all, what the fuck? My mother, it was all... so I had to stop everything. I had to, and I did. And I had to stop, and it was like, all of a sudden, it's hard to explain. It was like, I went from the black sheep to the one everyone leaned on. My whole family, they'd come to me to talk, they'd come to me to cry. My niece would come and live with me, my sister's daughter, and she'd live with my mother. And
what was your sister like? Was she like a big character then in the family?
She was. But she sorted it out. She was good. She had bipolar, look, but she was good for about 2 years. But she was wild back in the day, you know. But that was like different stuff, you know. It was just fat and all that. But she was nuts. My sister was nuts. She was a good girl. She was a wild one. She was like my best friend, bro.
Yeah, I can see that it is.
Yeah, it hurts. Still
hurts, like, you know.
Yeah, a million %. Yeah, but out of something bad, something good happened. So I changed my life around, you know. I had to. It was like, fucking hell, whoa, what the fuck, you know.
Every cloud has a
Yeah,
silver lining.
yeah. All of a sudden, my mother needed me. She never needed me before. I was like, fucking hell. And I was there for it, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
I had a baby
Probably
with my
all you
wife.
needed, didn't it? Was that?
Yeah. I told you on that thing, I swapped my last little bit for Sabine. I'm never, 13 and a half years since, I've never even ever touched it once ever again since. I've been in the same room. I've slept on a boat with my mate going over to Amsterdam and he's smoking all night. And nah, not for me. Never touched it once, never bothered.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that, but yeah.
And what was you like at your worst then? You know, on the heroin, I bet, was you a different type of criminal, let's say, than when it was just fat? Was you more ruthless, say? Or?
I stopped being a criminal when it came to the game, and I got a problem with it because I started selling it a bit, and I just locked myself away and just used it, you know. But with the Fed and the Valley, I was different then. I was ruthless. But yeah. I'd say it was as bad as until it had me by the bollocks. Once it had me by the bollocks, and I started not having to pay for it, I just sat in the bedroom and just smoke my life away. Yeah.
Well, just sell a little bit.
Yeah, just to cover what you smoke, you know, so I didn't have to pay for it.
And how hard did, if you can tell me like the time, the years when it was probably the worst, but how hard did heroin hit the valleys?
Let me tell you now, I never touched any years in the 90s, but from 96 to at least 2000, 2001, I lost 15, 16 good friends to the heroin, mostly Rhonda boys. It fucking killed the Rhonda. All my friends were dying. They were just getting out of jail and dying, man. It was like, what the fuck? And they were good boys, like, they weren't gearheads or nothing. They were all speed freaks, but it just took over. It was I'd say from 96 up to 98, it was like the Rhonda and Ridvell, and it was fucking ramp for it. It was just gear everywhere, and it just took over, bro. It was fucking crazy. Because in the cities, I suppose it was there already, wasn't it? But we never seen stuff like that.
Well, no. To be honest, I think even early 90s it was for the cities as well. You know.
Yeah.
Did you have to travel far, or was you getting it yourselves? And
well, the boys used to have to go to Bristol in the beginning and all that, but then all of a sudden, then it was in Ridvell, and then it was in the Rhonda, then it was everywhere in the end. Then it was in Aberdeen, then all of a sudden it was just everywhere. It was just everywhere. But what was happening was people were going to jail with habits, getting out, uneducated totally, boom, going, thinking they could still do the same before they went, and they were dying, man. They were dying like flies. It was crazy, mental.
And I suppose a mix of that is like there was, you know, when all the mines shut down, there was no jobs up there and stuff.
It's a bit before my time, but yeah, that's what it led all up to, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's
recipe for disaster.
I was lucky. I had good parents. You know what I mean? I always had everything I wanted. They always bathed me, clothed me, fed me, always loved me. So I was one of the lucky ones, you know. But I
think that's what me and you can relate on as well. Like,
I'm a mammy's boy too.
Yeah.
I'm still now a mammy's boy to this day. She hates it, my wife sometimes. But I am a mammy's boy, through and through. I own it. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed of it.
Yeah. No, that's she's like that. I can't believe you said that.
I am. I'm a mum's boy, through and through.
Yeah.
I always have been, but yeah, and I'm lucky because most of the people I relate to, most of my friends and my cellmates, they didn't have no parents or they didn't have no fucking family visiting them and all that. And I'm like, what's the matter with me, man?
Yeah, why? Exactly. Yeah. I was going to say, did you ever question?
Yeah,
like,
I got it all.
What's my excuse to being on this?
Yeah. If I was them, I would have. Fair enough. But I didn't. I had an home to go home to. Always had if I didn't have a missus or wife, or I'd have my parents home. Do you know what I mean? And never ever was I turned away. And yeah, I used to question, man. I used to think, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? You're letting your parents down. You're letting everyone down. Nah. And well, like probably for yourself. Once it's hit on me, then whoa, fuck, now I got a drug out, man. Everyone knows. And it was like, wow, reality just kicked in, and it was like, whoa.
And now looking back, do you just put it down to it was just something I tried in jail, or is there more to it? Was it your mental health? Like what do you think it was?
I think it was a bit of both.
The sister as well,
yeah,
obviously.
It was a bit of all of it, to be honest with you. It was.
It's never just one thing, is it?
I can't just blame my sister because I was wild before for years. Do you know what I mean? But I was like an eye opener to the bigger picture. It was like, what the fuck are we doing? What's happened to our lives? But it was. I'd say it was a bit of all, to be honest. It was. If anything, jail used to save me. Used to save my life because I'd get so fucked up on speed and thing. I'd be like 8 stone running on valleys in stolen cars, and if I hadn't sent me to jail, I'd either die or I would have crashed and killed myself. Do you know what I mean? So to a certain degree, jail saved me for many years, loads of times.
So if there's one thing jail has done for you, it's just saved your life.
Saved my life, literally saved my life.
Because you see a lot of people, don't you, who they go on 2-year runs and they're fucked by the end of it.
I'd think, fucking hell.
In jail, putting them in place, they'd be dead otherwise.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You wait back on it, you get back to normality. It was just,
it's like a pause, isn't it?
Yeah, you got it.
It's not like that's not good enough.
It.
It's not good enough, is it? Just to pause you. To go back out on it, they should be doing more.
Help you before you get out, innit? Do you know what? If you even a bit of education, do you know, even just even just cluing people up a bit more about addiction, you know.
Yeah.
But it's You know yourself. You go in there. You don't get off and fuck all. You don't. You haven't for years. I don't know. I can't speak now. Like I just said, I've been here for years. But speaking to my friends who are still in and out, it's the same old. It's the same old.
Yeah.
Lucky you get a fucking job in the landing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'd never get one, man.
No,
They
not
just
me.
didn't give me a look in, like, you know, like fucking especially the local ones, like, because they just.
Nigga.
Like, I've been out now and I've gone to prisons and done talks, but still haven't been invited to my local Cardiff.
No.
You know, and you'd think that would be the place they'd
But
want
yeah,
me
they
to
should
go.
want to, shouldn't they?
Because that's
You're
our
a
local jail, isn't it? Like,
and you're a success story, bro.
Yeah.
You should be able to help other people who look up
but they
and...
just,
sad, isn't it?
I think they just think, oh no.
Yeah, Cardiff's probably the worst. One of the worst days I've been to be honest. I've
Yeah,
done them all.
yeah,
I've done them all. All the Sea Cats. I've been up them all. Dartmoor, Guysmarsh, Challenge Cardiff, it just fucking locks you away. You just horse chasing every fucking 3 days, whatever it is. Like you go Swansea, at least you're out twice a day. You want to use a phone twice a day.
It's quite a good jail, isn't it?
Yeah, Swansea got it's run good, and they got time for you. The staff got time for you. You go Cardiff, and it's just they just want to lock you out, don't they? They just
So would you say Cardiff's the worst for regime? What about condition?
food terrible, worst
Shit food.
terrible.
Food is shocking.
Yeah, and the conditions, it's fucking
It's
yeah.
Victorian jail, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the worst, I'd say.
Healthcare.
Terrible.
You know, I remember I had one time I had a pounding headache, and another time I had a really bad back. Both times, like just paracetamol.
Yeah.
Paracetamol. When you're clucking as well, paracetamol.
Million percent.
If you're in England and you're clucking, they will get you on a
The
script.
guy who said, yeah, they'll help you. They
You know?
they'd look down at you now. If they look at it worse, don't they? So now the inmates don't even want to go and ask for help because then they looked at worse. So it's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, and even like the officers were never really clued up on it. I don't know what it's like now, but during the time, so like, you know, you be on the wing and, you know, methadone boys and and everyone.
Junkie juice.
Yeah, so then
Yeah, you got
they're
it.
jungle juice
Yeah.
and then like all the people who are not on it, they all know who's on the meth and they'd all be laughing. And
You
it's
got
like,
it, yeah.
Where's the humanity?
Belittling
Where's the human
people.
decency, like, innit? Do
Yeah,
you know what I
get it,
mean?
1,000,000%.
What would you say was the roughest jail you've been to?
It's probably Dartmoor in the beginning, but that changed as well. It was a Cat A first, but that changed. But probably Cardiff, bro.
Really?
Honest,
Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, anyway, you got to be up here.
Yeah,
with that, definitely.
yeah.
Because the same thing. They nothing seen, nothing said.
Yeah.
In Cardiff, you could be in our cell 3 days, right, and not even eat, and they wouldn't even come up and check why you haven't eaten. You know, they wouldn't think you're on hunger strike. They only come up in the end because they got to, because I haven't been take your board.
That's true. Do you know what? I was rattling the one time, right? Yeah, which you think they'd be keeping an eye on you
even
more
more
because you've
so.
gone in.
Yeah.
I think I was rattling for about 3 days, 4 days. I was rattling for weeks, but for 3-4 days, I didn't get my food, and no one came and checked
Nobody
on
comes.
me.
See, and by law, they're supposed to. I think it's after the third meal or whatever it is, or sixth meal. I mean,
So same day, really.
yeah, they're supposed to come straight up and see why ain't you fucking eating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
They in Cardiff as well. I don't know if they've done it in other jails, but it used to be you'd have breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yeah.
and a breakfast tea pack as
they
well.
scrap the breakfast, didn't they?
Mate, all they have now is a cold sandwich
That's Bristol's
At-
like that.
at-
That's
at
what Bristol used to be
lunch.
like. Yeah, it's like
and then a
Cardiff now,
meal
is
in the
it?
night. Yeah.
Bristol's like that as well, nightmare.
Bad. Or it'd be the other way, a shitty
Baguette.
warm and then a baguette in the night. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's not enough to fill a fucking mouse. It's terrible.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
You're always, that's one thing about jail, always hungry.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
never a time, unless you want to visit, and even then after, because it's shit food, it's junk.
Yeah, definitely.
You're starving, even more like.
Yeah,
I bet you
and
used to fill
like
them
I
up
said
on
again, I was
visits.
lucky. You know, I always had good parents, a good family.
Yeah.
They always sent me money, so I was one of the lucky ones in there.
Yeah, but you could have £100 in your canteen
You
spend.
can only spend a fucking tenner.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre,
People
innit?
don't understand that, do they?
It's bizarre, isn't it?
You know, and
Yeah.
Cardiff was
And you're
was like
£2.50 pay. They take £1 off your telly.
well, yeah. Then you know, if you want to put
People
that
don't get
10
no money
You want
sent
to
in.
put that £10 on a phone.
Yeah,
Then you
exactly.
ain't got no money to put per
And the
canteen
people
on.
don't have no money sent in at all. It's what are they, £2.50 a week, bro? It's
Bad,
bad,
man.
innit? It's bad.
Bad,
And then they
man.
start borrowing, so you get in debt. It's sad. It's
That's how the trouble comes, then, isn't it?
yeah.
You know, it's
when all the bullying starts, when all the violence comes
yeah,
in. But
yeah. Did you
Yeah.
ever have any trouble in jail? Any stories?
I wouldn't have it by the time I go there. But yeah, yeah, of course I did. I had loads of trouble. Yeah, but I was clever. I always know take your legs in the showers. The floors are wet. But
Yeah,
I did it the hard way, you know. But in the end, I didn't have to fight, bro. In the end, so I had respect it, and I know being big-headed. But when the time I left the YOs and got on to the adults, it was no more fighting. It was no more fighting left in me. I didn't have to. I'd win with my mouth, you know, just say a few words and job done. But yeah,
If you got like just give us like one story. Like, what was like the worst thing you've seen in jail, maybe with other inmates?
let me think. You think I'm lying? Where do you want me to fucking start? When Park first opened.
Yeah.
Park Prison first opened. I was on a YOIs. I come down from Doncaster. I was in jail up in Doncaster, right? Because I had butted the screws. Long story anyway. They sent me further up to North Arlington. It's on the Scottish border.
Whoa.
So all my parents were fighting to get me back close to home because Park Prison just opened. It took me 3 weeks to get down on national transport, stopping in each jails overnight and all that. Anyway, we got to Park Prison, walked in, I was like, what the fuck? This place was crazy. And I mean crazy. The phones were open. You could get your porn mag out, phone all the porn things on my sister's grave. All the phones are just open. You could phone anyone, basically. You sit there all day. All the boys sitting all day, phoning porn mags, all that. The mail wasn't censored. Your mail gets sent in. They'd walk into the wing on a trolley, and everyone would run up. They'd want to open their mail in front of them. People would be walking off with parcels, 9 bars, and it was crazy. But then Park, yeah, we had a couple of riots in Park. It went off a few times, yeah. Yeah, we went on the roof once or twice. Played right up in Park. I won't lie. But yeah, it's I can remember once. I'll tell you a little story, right? It was, and it's not racist. I was just a fucking pig back then, anyway, right? And I didn't like eating rice. I didn't like rice. And I had a bit of a thing because if he was Muslim, they were all good. Yeah, you know, you have. But if it was no chips, you'd have to have the rice. So I made a thing of it. It was just something to play up about, that's all. So one day I went down with just rice here, and I was like, no, I want fucking chips. They're allowed to have rice. I want chips. No, I haven't got racist bone in me. I got loads of black friends. Anyway, next thing you know, the Yule wing went up there. The trolleys went over, and we were all out up on the fences, sat in the basketball nets till like 11 in the night when the boys were. But yeah, Park was mental place.
Yeah.
Honestly, like nothing you've ever seen.
Chips in a jail are like, that's like the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you get chip day.
But what was happening is a longer story to it. What was happening was they were letting the one landing out last look. So every day we go down and they'd be fucking gone. Yeah, they'd be gone. And they'd want to have fucking rice every day. And I didn't like rice anyway. So yeah, that's what it all started over. Yeah, we had a bit of a riot and it was all over rice and chips.
Wow.
But yeah, it's supposed to say how thing it is in jail, innit? So,
yeah. It's real, mate, isn't it? Like,
but the bigger picture was fucking open our landing first for the change, you know?
Yeah.
So we can have some chips, like.
Back then, was it because it ain't so much now, I don't think. Maybe,
I think Park got it together now a bit, apparently, but what I've heard, like.
Wow.
Apart from people dying all the time. But,
yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit as well. Like, but like, was it tribal? Was it like Valley Boys, Cardiff?
Of course, yeah. Unless you went to an English jail, then we'd all be together.
Of course we would,
because
it's the bigger picture then,
going to Cardiff, as you know yourself, you'd be the Cardiff boys over there, the Newport boys over there, one of the boys over there. But we wouldn't argue. We were not bad. We just hang around in their own circles.
So you know,
in the exercise yard book. But as soon as you get to an English jail, all the Welsh boys, it'd be, it wouldn't be Valleys, Cardiff, it wouldn't be Welsh. Yeah.
I was in Winson Green and this traveller boy came up to me, he said, do you want to see your mates? And I was like, who? He's like, your Welsh boys. And I was like, what? Because it's mad. It don't matter what jail you're in, you'll find Welsh people.
Yeah,
it's mad, like,
isn't it? Yeah.
So he took me up to this cell on B wing. It was the meth wing, and it was fucking rough, mate. Even all the main like Birmingham boys, the Brummies, the Burgers, they would say B wing's the maddest, like, you know. And I got in this cell, and you know, Parfit from like
one of my good friends from
he's from Pontypool in our way.
He died not long ago. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. His brother's Kevin. How can I think of his name?
Yeah.
Lee Parfit.
Fuck off.
Big boy, short shoulder. Yeah, he died not long ago, man. Yeah. 2 years ago, I think it was.
Wow.
Remember, babe? Well, one of my good buddies, Parfit. Yeah, he was up in them jails all the time, man.
Parfit, Jenkins from Llanelli. But it was like a Llanelli boys, Pontypool, Swansea, you know, Valley, and they were in there, and like as soon as I walked through that cell it was like I was in Cardiff again.
Mental,
it was just like it was nice, like, you know. So I know exactly what you mean, like, but for you know, people who don't know, you know, any stories of people who never paid their debts, any lessons you want to tell the people?
Yeah, loads. Not over debts, but I tried being cut once in the showers. I was on a shower once in Guy's Marsh. We fell out on a one wing. Me and Bland, well, I won't go into names anyway. Me and a couple of other boys, we had a bit of a scrap with the English boys. Got moved wings. I went over, but that was down to the gear. That was in the end. It turned out the boy got paid. I was having a shower, getting dressed. Just got out the shower like that. Some boy jumped out behind me, skinny, boom, behind me with a double blade. He cut me with there. Yeah. But I seen him doing it, so I moved quick. I chased him all around the fucking wing. I bolt naked. He'd run, he did. Yeah, I chased him all around the two wings. He'd run in his father's cell, and his father was in with him. Shut the door. But yeah, I've seen a few people get cut. I nearly got cut myself, but it's not nice, is it? It's just, you know, you want to help them. But some people have deserved it too, in all fairness. You know what I mean? In here, it's the old school rules, isn't it? You know? Yeah. Snitches get stitches, and that's just the way it works in jail.
Yeah.
But
I you know, now I think it's like there's no rules in there anymore.
From what I hear is that the boys only got loyalties. The ones who works for the officers now are like officers. with cleaners and
On the greens, if you had a cleaner now, you're a screw boy.
that's what I've been told. But it was different before. See,
Back in the day, you were one of the boys, like.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah.
You know, now you've got to be a screw
You
boy.
get paid to be a cleaner by the boys to run around for you.
Well, yeah, because exactly.
So you could get to every cell, innit? You know?
Now you would never have someone running around the cells
No.
for you.
Nah.
Because they are
The wrong ones,
with
yeah.
the screws, like, you know.
It's mental, innit?
You know, you needed them, like, do you know what I mean, to get your shit wrong when it was banger.
What they needed, they did start, didn't they, years ago? They started to have like a if people are drug winging it when they first go in, they got people who use and all that.
Drug wing,
But then they just let that go, didn't they? Instead of educating them, they were just medicating them. And then, 10 days, bam, you're on the wing. You know?
There's no help.
Bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know, we are living in a time now where the prison system is in crisis. It's overcrowded. Like, and
How many years have it been like this, bro? It's just, what are they going to do about it?
Well, they're building 3 new jails now, but I say, like, surely rather than looking to build more jails, we should look at not letting people go to jail.
Yeah.
Like,
educate people more.
You know, if you got we don't. I'd rather than build more Velindre cancer hospitals.
1,000,000%.
Let's try and find a cure.
1,000,000%.
You know.
Yeah.
I think like at least 50% of people who go to jail drug related. Yeah, and I think drug addiction should be looked up as a health matter, not a criminal justice matter
agree.
anyway.
Totally
and if we can help people in the community, right, and rehabilitate them rather than sending them to jail, there's a big population of people who will take those spaces.
People have a problem with alcohol, they'll go and get up, don't they? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, but with drugs, it's different. It's just different.
Yeah, it's looked differently. It is 100% looked differently.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Even in jail, it's different. You go in with an alcohol problem, they'll put you on your script and they'll keep on the maintenance, they'll keep on.
Yeah.
But you go in with a drug problem and they don't want to know. It's crazy. It don't make sense to me.
And like, again, another large population of people who would always, like, filling up the spaces of people who with the drug problems, in and out, in and out,
Yeah.
in and out,
Yeah.
in and out. So let's try and tackle those people.
You got it, yeah. The prolifics, they go in and they comment. If it's winter, they can't wait to come back off them.
Jail's been looked up for too long as just a punishment. Now, it should be a punishment, like Portland used to be.
Well, like it used to be as well, yeah. With them.
But those people are always going to come back out, and if you haven't rehabilitated them, they're just going to do the same shit again.
1,000,000%.
People say, like, there's a victim out there, right, who's been battered by someone, or raped, or whatever. The victim in their head are thinking, right, he's going to get locked up and be away from me, and I hope that he leaves a better person, he changes.
Yeah.
That's the hope, innit?
Yeah, of
that
course,
they rehabilitate. But it's not, and they don't.
Most people get out worse. That's a fact, innit? It's sad, but it's true, innit?
So we're always going to have more.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have that person come in, and then leave. You're going to have newer people becoming criminals, and those people are going to come back criminals.
Yeah.
So you're always doubling up on people coming in. So eventually, there's no spaces.
But it's the same as that spice stuff now, innit? You don't hear of that in the valleys, but that's all it is. It's rumbling in jail. I don't know what it's like in Cardiff, but you don't hear that anymore, the valleys. But apparently, it's still, that's the drug in jail now.
28 deaths, was it?
That's mental, man.
But again, like I said, it was the same as the heroin because, for a long time, spice didn't come up in MDTs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's why people are doing it again. Yeah.
Even heroin came
does
up
now,
4 days. But I think they found something.
Right.
But I think the thing why it didn't is because each spice is different.
Right.
Because it's man-made.
Yeah.
So you don't, you might get a tester for this type of spice,
and it's a
but
different
the next one got different components in.
Yeah.
My uncle got done. He got sent to Park prison for throwing parcels over the wall. He had, when they come back with a toxicology report, it had battery acid, drain cleaner, and roach killer in it. Yeah, right. But the thing that makes me laugh is there's a saying. Well, it's not a saying. This is like a known fact that if a nuclear bomb went off, the only thing that would survive would be cockroaches.
Yeah, you're
so if you're smoking stuff that kills fucking cockroaches, what's it doing to you?
Yeah, I remember in Cardiff for the parcels used to come over from the multi-story car park. Yeah, they would just throw them over onto was it E-wing,
E-wing, the newer side, didn't it? Lifer wing, weren't
it turned to a lifer's wing, yeah. But back then it was just normal for normal boys, look.
Mad.
And then the boys would do the cleaning outside them and go on,
Yeah, it's fucking.
From a multi-story car park every night, you'd somebody be up there, mental.
So with your addiction and care, like at your highest, like what was you using?
Depends when it changed. When it changed, just after my sister passed, I was smoking a few grams a day, 3.5 grams a day every day, more or less, give or take. But before that, it was worse because it was the pin, it was speed, it was. I never ever done heroin that way, but with the speed from 12 years of age, I was putting my arm, bro. From 12.
You was pinning up speed from 12.
Easy, 12, 13, easy, yeah. I was a father 13. It's just I'm not going to name names because my daughter's grown up now. I was a grandfather since I was 27, 28. Honestly, I got nothing to lie. I can't name names because she lives in the valleys. My daughter, she got kids.
You was a grandfather at
28. Yeah. I was a father at 13. She called when I was 12, actually. I was in secure unit when I was 13, Aycliffe. Phone call, baby born, blah, blah. She's all Stacey. I can't show you photos. Actually.
You was 12?
Yeah.
How old was she?
I was 13, sorry, when she was born.
How old was the girl you was with?
This is what I can't go into. Because she was older, a bit, right? I don't know, 17-ish.
Oh, okay.
And Stacey was born. Then my daughter had a kid when she was 15. Look. So I was their father and I was a grandfather at like 28. So my mother, I think my mother was, how old was my mother? She was only like, she was really young. She was really young great grandmother.
So she was a great grandmother at like 40.
Young, yeah. My boy now, my 7-year-old and my 13-year-old, it's hard. His nephew, their nephews and nieces knock the door to go out my 12-year-old. They're 14 and 15 now. It's awkward, isn't it? It's awkward.
Oh, look, it is what it is, isn't it?
So my 7-year-old got a 14-year-old calling him Uncle Junior. Do you know, it's like, what the fuck? It's just like, yeah.
Kenny, man.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
fucking mad, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was a wild one. I went like normal kids, in all fairness. But
did you ever try come off the drugs? Like, was there many attempts before you did get clean?
Not until I met my wife, no. To be honest, I wasn't really interested. I never met someone who never took nothing, didn't even smoke weed. I didn't think that existed, to be honest. I didn't know people like that.
So up the valleys, it
was very hard come by. And I still didn't believe her, first of all. And she didn't even have a puff. She didn't even have it. And I was like, fucking hell, what the fuck? And yeah, and I was like, I was taken back. And then shit happened. Then I wasn't with my wife long. And I was with her 6-7 weeks, back in jail again. Boom. Fucking about with cars again, I was. And I got out. I only had a 6-month sentence. Me being the fucking wouldn't plead guilty. I ended up doing it longer than everyone else. So I wouldn't plead guilty. So they got all out with a guilty plea. So, because you have time off with plead guilty, you know. But anyway, got out. 10 days later, that's when my sister died, look. And boom, I put her for about a year, 2 years. And she said, she just gave me the ultimatum Monday. Got pregnant, you're going to have to stop. You've got to stop everything. And I was like, you're right. And I did. And I don't know exactly how. It was a couple of different things, you know. It was a responsibility I had for my family because my sister had passed. It was, I wanted to respect my new wife. And I had a kid on the way again. And it was like, yeah, since the day that boy was born, I knocked it on the head.
Do you truly believe that there is something that you can tell people that will get them off it? Or do you just think that things just plan out, it works out differently?
I think there's a lot to do with the person as well. They got to want to stop. You know, you can sit there and you can take an horse of water, you can't make a drink, you know. Yeah. And you can pump on and on and on to someone, and they'll sit, and you know yourself, they'll sit there and they'll, yeah, great, brilliant. But you can sense, the ones who've taken it in. I can anyway. I don't know how, but if I'm talking to some users, I can sense which one is listening and which, I don't know why, and which one is just, oh yeah, fuck off, whatever. You heard all that before. But I don't know what it is. It's something that drops inside you as a person, and you've got to want to stop us, and you've got to want it for yourself, not for your kids, not for your family, not for anyone, but all of a sudden you got to want to do it for yourself. And as soon as I wanted to do it for me as well, it was easy. It was doddle. Yeah. Mad, easy.
Yeah, it's and like before then, it's a battle, isn't it?
Probably wasn't easy at the time. It's me just being a bit big-headed. No, you know, but
no, I know what
looking
you're saying.
back now, thinking about it, I'm thinking, fucking hell, if I could do it, anyone could do it, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Did you ever think you'd come off it before that?
I never imagined ever.
Was you content with staying on it for the rest of your life?
Because I never stopped in jail, and I never went like one day in jail without drugs either.
You never went one day without gear?
No gear, without weed and in jail. Yeah, I always had it, always.
Did you used to get stuff in yourself?
Always, yeah, always. Never went without any. That's what everyone knows me most for. I always had a smoke. No, only smoke, like, but I could never imagine.
Is that bringing loads in or visits and that?
Yeah, both, innit? You know, but I can't go into all that, but yeah, bit of both, innit? But I never imagined one day of sitting there not doing nothing. For 3 years, I done everything, stopped everything. I stopped smoking fags, weed, I stopped everything. I didn't have a drink, and I was like, fucking hell. I could never imagine that before. Never imagine getting up and not wanting to, yes, fuck it, let's go on a party, or let's go and drive. And one of my biggest problems was driving was disqualified, look. So even after I calmed down from stealing the cars, I was buying cars and fucking driving them like lunatics everywhere anyway. I'm banned, so I was in jail all the time for driving then, all the time. And I was a prolific offender for driving was disqualified. And it was fucking ridiculous. It wouldn't be so bad if I made some money out of it, make a fucking penny. It was all stupidness, you know? It was all just buzz, it was all for a buzz. And yeah, it took me years. I never thought I'd get a driving licence, but thanks to my wife, I got a full driving licence.
Yeah, fucking me, honestly.
I still hard work with it, they are. I got to renew it every year. They'll only issue you 12 months, but they'll only issue it to me 12 months at a time. But I got one. I've had it in 7 years now. I never had a point, I think. But yeah, I can drive everything. I'm mad. But yeah, they still awkward as fuck DVLA. I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
I do. Every year now, every 12 months, I got to go have a drug test, have a physical. How long are they going to drag it out for? You know, it's just like.
It's almost keeping you
I
in.
wrote them letters. I was solicitor write letters saying, listen, this has held me back in time. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hold me back my
it's like
past.
probation, innit? Like when you leave, you finally get, like, I never ever thought I'd ever be off license. But
Was your PPO as well?
Yeah.
They make it impossible, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck, they want you back in jail. It's like, as soon as you get out, they want you back. It's crazy.
And that's another thing that adds to the overcrowded prisons.
Yeah,
the amount of people who get recalled for a missed appointment.
Yeah.
Some people can't get to the fucking appointment.
Yeah. Once you go to the door, first you go to fucking jail. To probation, first you go to jail. No. Anyway, no one does, they? And that used to be my problem, half my
some
problem.
People are so worried, right, as well, that just in their heads, I used to get it. I didn't want to go to the building because I've actually been arrested in probation. I've been arrested picking up my meth as well.
Yeah. I've been arrested in probation.
And I think it's the most... What's your take on... okay, someone's got a drug problem. He's on a methadone script. He's wanted by the police, yeah? Do you think it's right that the police go and arrest him at the meth?
No, I think it's wrong. Because then that's making people want to go and do crime because they can't go and get the meth, you know? So they can't go and get that, they're going to be bad, so they're going to go and do something else. You know?
So I'm the same, like, apart from if the offence is murder
or nonsense.
Nonsense.
Yeah,
if he's done a really, like, or even rape.
Yeah, of course.
If he's done a
anything really serious, isn't it?
But if it's shoplifting,
or driving disqualified.
Driving while disqualified, you know, even burglary, you know, like, I'm on about serious crimes, fair enough. But if they're just wanted for a missed appointment, or they've been recalled for that, or it's addiction, shoplifting, fucking let him go and get his meth, mate.
Yeah, you got it. Even when I started doing well and I started leaving shit alone, I was still a PPO, look, right? And I fucking dreaded going probation because all my old friends are here, all the old habits, all my old fucking memories. Probation top fucking Witherspoons. I mean, Ponty, you know what? It's like, what the fuck? I hated going, I dreaded it.
For the people who don't know, explain that clearly. Where, like, the
probation is on top of Witherspoons. Next door, you got to walk past Witherspoons to go in, up the door to probation.
Yeah.
And it's, imagine drinkers now, man. It's even worse. So people are alcoholic, and it's sad. And I used to dread going. And that's the only time in the beginning I used to struggle.
Well, do you know what my dad
used to say? If I had a little relapse, it'd be when I go fucking probation.
Do you know what my dad used to say about places like probation and dip as well, like the Bottle? It's like going to a Gamblers Anonymous meeting at the Coral or the casino.
Yeah.
And he would say, it's like going to an AA meeting in the Weatherspoons. But you know what?
It's bang on.
Ponty probation fucking is.
Yeah. Because as soon as all about your probation, they meet downstairs in the fucking Weatherspoons. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
It's like going to a fucking meeting at the fucking Weatherspoons. I didn't even used to drink. I go probation, come on fucking drunk. So my dad used to say that before we even knew about probation.
Mad. And that's genuine truth. I didn't even drink back then, and I'd go probation, and once a week I'd come home fucking pissed.
Well, and the other thing that they don't realise is how many people, it could be up the valley, like I know a lot of people, even if they're homeless and they live across the road from me, like if they stay across the road from Dip, right? A lot of people, right, in their life, right, going to pick up their script is the highlight of their day.
Yeah, of course.
It's the only time they get to speak to someone who knows their name or actually wants to speak to them.
And they get something they want. You know,
so if you live up the top of Bryn Tirion Tint, Pwthcelyn, whatever, Abercynon, and you've got to go to Ponty probation one day, that's your day out.
Yeah.
So they probably will think, do you know what, I'm going to have a pint in a Weatherspoons. You know, straight away, it's like...
And do you know what else? I have to put it across because I'll forget. Do you know the other else fucks people up for Ponty probation? They won't even give you your bus fare. So it used to be if we took your bus ticket, they'd refund it, right?
They don't do that.
Where the fuck do you get the money for the bus ticket to start with? I got breached loads of times.
I
couldn't get down there. I had to jump a train or.
We're gonna have to recall you for shoplift, for stealing.
You got it.
What do you mean? Well, you stole money to get a bus.
You got it,
here.
but they don't even do that. Now they don't even refund the bus ticket apparently, but they used to. But then my argument was then, where the fuck do you get the money for the bus ticket?
I've got my issues.
I know loads of people, and I mean loads of people who've been recalled just because they couldn't get the provision, and genuinely wanted to go and they just couldn't get it.
I was working as a drug worker. I'll tell you a little story quickly. You know, and I'm not going to say names and that, but it's wrong. Yeah. So basically, right, with Ponty probation, I was working as a drug worker.
Yeah.
And I've been 4 years clean. Yeah. I've worked up from peer mentor, come off license, done everything.
Yeah.
Come from peer mentor to then getting a new role as the co-production lead.
Yeah.
Right. And I cover RCT, Cumtaff, Cardiff and Vale. Those are the areas I covered, yeah, right? Now, I was working with POP, the Prison Offender Project. So they work with people who come out of prison.
Right.
Based in probation, they were, Ponty. So I used to go in the building with the one person. Now, the one day I was out with him and I was going out into Ponty, walking around speaking to the homeless, going to the hostel down the road under the bridge, you know, that big hostel.
Yeah.
Forget his name. Anyway, I left my sunglasses, right? £300 pair of Gucci sunglasses in the woman's car who I was with. So I rung her. I said, "Oh, can I get my glasses? I'm going on holiday." She went, "Oh, I've put him in probation. I have upstairs. Okay, I've been." I said, "Oh, okay. Can you?" She went, "Just," said, "I just ring the bell, tell him."
Yeah.
You know, you're with me. They know you are because you've been with me.
Yeah.
Just tell me your name.
Wouldn't let you in,
they'll
would
let
they?
you in. Oh, no. Listen to this. So I went there, rung the bell, went upstairs into the probation bit. I said, I'm work for so-and-so, co-production lead. Oh, yeah, I remember you. They told me to come in to get my glasses. Yeah, no worries. Goes in. She lets me through. I goes all the way up on my own, walks up. Yeah, goes in.
Miles.
Right, I've got this one probation officer who he done my restorative justice, right? The one he comes up to me, you can't know what's happening. Anyway, I thought it was all blessed. Got my sunglasses left, right? I guess a massive email the next day to my line manager giving me why was Cullen Mace walking around probation freely? He's not authorised to do. And I thought I basically got it was either I got set up by the one person to tell me to go through there, right? Or still the same time. The fact is that culture there, right? That because I'm an ex-addict,
straight away
I'm not a criminal anymore. I'm clean 4 years, right? But I'm not allowed to go and pick up my sunglasses. I work here, and out
of all places, they should be fucking. And also
in the email, we don't want Cullen Mace around any of our probation places. So that has really tainted everything with the probation service for me.
That's hard, isn't it? It's just wrong.
Yeah, I believe, mate, personally, I don't want to rant, but the Central Club, because I do the Central Club podcast, and because I've had guests on who in the mainstream world, they might look at as controversial. They're not my opinions. I just interview these people. They don't like me because of it, Ryan, and I have been targeted by them, and it's absolutely disgusting because I'm nothing but trying to shine positive stuff and be a good person and help people, and you got people like that who still stigmatise and
they
look
should
down
want people like you around, more people like you around. You know, they should encourage it. But it's the same thing. People are getting recalled back to prison because they can't afford bus fare to probation. It's fucked up. One of the prisons are full. Come on, bro. You ever seen some of the things people are in jail for now? What? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. What, for missing one probation? Because they got out of jail and they didn't go miss probation that day. Are they back in jail?
And the officers...
And he said they're scratching their head, how the fuck's a jail for?
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it? I'm thick as fuck and I can work that out, you know? It's not rocket science, bro, is it? The system is fucked.
It is, mate. It is.
And... all right, I don't think prisoners should have any more. I think they should have less. And I'm an ex-prisoner. They got it too easy, they have too much. But they should have more help. Definitely more help. And more if they want it to reach for it. If they want help with the addiction, if they want help with whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? If they want help with fucking those cats,
it's a two-way street, innit, right? When they're in there, right, it's like you've got a bad cut, going into prison is like sticking a plaster on it without treating it, right? And you get out and it's been stuck on it, you haven't treated it, you rip it off, it's gangrene and it is still a bad leg, right? You need to treat that wound whilst it's in jail, right? And then when you come out, then you've got to have aftercare and rehab with that as well, right? And it's like in prison is the bad cut, and coming out the probation and all that, right? It's just... if anything, it's like ripping the plaster off and going into dirty waters again. Like it's like they're trying to... you don't get any help.
And what happens
they should be working together to help this person.
Yeah, you got it, 1,000,000%.
And it's like as if, one thing I've learned, I feel like people have been jealous that I've done well, and it's like, who does this ex-addict think he is?
I get that from people as well.
I get it, look. I
love seeing...
not from normal people,
I love seeing some of the boys.
Services,
yeah, I love seeing the boys do well. But I know few people get jealous of the boys who are doing well and all that, and I'm like, fucking hell, you should be happy for them, bro. Do you know what I mean? They've done it themselves.
Well, you'll relate to this, mate, right? Because, you know what? I was a hateful person. I was a jealous, envious.
I was the same.
I hated people, and I was on drugs. Yeah, right. When I got clean, right, I never thought I would bump into more rats and snakes out of the smack game than in it.
Yeah, mad, innit?
There's better people in it than out of it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean,
exactly. Yeah, fucking.
So well done to you for fucking getting out of it,
Thank
mate.
you, bro. Because there's not many people do.
No, mate, there ain't.
And I will. I don't normally say, but I'm proud of myself, man. I turned the corner. And if this spear can help one person, happy fucking days. You know, if it can make one person think, whoa, he can do it, happy days.
Well, what is, quickly before I ask this question though, with the prison system, what do you think needs to be done to fix it? Is it fixable?
Not as it is. They got to stop sending people to jail just because they already been in jail, right? Because the people who've been in jail, they don't get a fucking Yep, just send them back to jail. No matter what they go up in court for, it don't matter if it's shoplifting. And then the people who haven't been in jail could go up for fucking drug dealing. And because they haven't been up before, we'll give them another chance. And this is what my opinion was happening. What's happening is they keep sending the same people back. And they're sending people for such silliness. And it looks so silly, but in their eyes is, but he only got to fucking jail last week. But it's not, do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
People don't go jail, don't go fucking jail.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the people who go jail who are always in fucking jail. So it's not rocket science. They need to stop sending everyone to jail who've been in jail and start helping people.
And another saying you'll know in prison as well, which shows that they're not rehabilitating or helping. You go to prison, that is your punishment.
Yeah.
You don't go to prison to be
punished. Yeah, 1,000,000%.
You know, not giving you your phone call, showers,
Yeah.
and being arsey. You're just building resentment for people to just cannot wait to get out and fucking do the same thing again.
1,000,000%.
About your addiction and your recovery and what you're doing now. You've passed your driving test after being a band driver. You're settled down. You've got a lovely family. You're drug free.
Life's good, bro.
Yeah, you're drug free. You're looking amazing.
Thank you, bro.
You're winning, mate. Like, for anyone out there who's struggling, like what would you say to those people? Like,
if I can do it, anyone can do it. Promise. Just try. If you want to do it, you will do it. But you've got to want to do it and do it for yourself, not for no one else. Okay, all good. Don't get me wrong. You're still doing it for mum, dad, and your kids. But deep down, you need to want to do it for yourself, for you, and it'll work. And find a good woman. Work for me.
Yeah. And quickly, one more to the government. If they could listen to what you're saying and implement any of it, what would you say?
I'm not very clever, and I can work out what's going on. So get a fucking grip, sort it out. It's not rocket science, is it? Everyone knows what's going on. It's common sense, isn't it? They just keep sending the same people back to jail. My opinion. And the people don't go jail. I won't even go into names, but there's a few fucking boys. Valley's been done now, and they got done for drugs and dealing. And they fucking back out, driving around in their cars. It's wrong, bro. It's wrong. And then the shoplifters are fucking back in because they PPOs.
The ones who are victim of drugs.
The ones who don't money go probation.
The ones who are victim of the drugs.
You got it, 1,000,000%. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad world.
Ceri, thank you for coming, mate.
Anytime,
it's been
bro.
lovely, mate.
It'd be nice. Good.
Do you know what, mate? I think with everything that's going on at the moment with prison system, addiction, shoplifting's at a height. We covered a lot of these topics. We might see you on the show again.
Yeah,
soon,
anytime,
mate, you know?
bro.
Yeah,
Anytime.
Yeah.
I
bet he has. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, we've only got a little hour, so I think that part 2 might be in the line. If you would like to see Ceri on again, put it in the comments. Let us know, right? Because I know when he leaves now, he's going to say, fuck, I didn't say this. I didn't say
100%.
that.
Yeah.
I should have said this. I should have said that. And that's how podcasts go, mate. They go very quickly and you forget what to say.
Yeah, get in a moment to do it. Got run away with prison.
Listen, I'm just
thanks
glad.
for having me. It's nice. And
I'm just
hopefully,
glad.
if anyone's looking, hopefully it'll help someone. Happy days.
Yeah, I'm really glad. You know, we've reconnected. You've come down.
Bro. Yeah.
Any last words you'd like to say to the people?
Just be you, and if you want to change, you'll change. If you want it that much, you'll do it. You know.
Till next time.
Stay central.
Till next time.
Stay central.
Stay central.
The Central Club.